I think to be precise, it was the 11th of February, there was a passing of a very great rabbi. His name was Rabbi Eliyahu Cohen Z'tl. Actually, it was in the year 2025. I take it back. It was this year, only about, from the time of recording, about 4 months ago. So I thought I would say a few words within regards to the great rabbi. It was this year currently, only 4 months ago. He was a great rabbi. It was a huge loss, not just to Eretz Israel, especially to Bnei Brak, that the great rabbi passed away. He was a dayan. He was a judge. Rabbi Eliyahu he was a head of Jewish court of the Yora, and I think this was for many, many years. He was over there. He was a ram in Yeshivat, Ohel Moshe, and very much was very close, I think, closely related to, if I'm not mistaken, Rav Salmon Mutzafi, one of the great rabbis of his time, had a great connection to many, many of the great Chacham. Now, he passed away, he was 92 years of age. He was, so that means he was born just around the early 1930s, I believe. The great rabbi was actually born. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was very much working most of the time in Bnei Brak as a judge, as we said before. He was head of Jewish court over there. Yora was a name, and this was for many, many years. It's a Bet Din Jewish court over there that was based. He would author a great Torah book called the Pininei Eliyahu, and very much what he would concentrate on doing also with all his great works that he did was to do a huge amount of kiruv work, outreach work, Sharbitz Torah he was, and bring out Yirat Shemayim among the throngs of the public and really, really help make a lot of people do teshuvah. Now, let's look a bit about his history. He was born in Iraq, I believe, in Aleph Kislev, back in the Hebrew year, Taf Resh Tzadik Gimel. So that would have been, we're talking about 1933 or something, around that time period. Remember, that was a time period where there was many great rabbis in Iraq. It was like a golden age, especially in the early 1900s. Many people would eventually move to Eretz Israel and other places. Come on, 1940s, 1950s, but he was born at a specific time. And there was a great rabbi, Rabbi Tzalach Cohen, I think the rabbi we've spoken about before. I believe that was his father, and his Marat, I think her name, Georgia, was his mother's name. She happened to be, if I'm not mistaken, the sister of the famous Kabbalist, Rabbi Salmon Mutzafi. So that would have made, Rabbi Salmon Mutzafi was his uncle, really great rabbi of his time. We've spoken about the Mutzafi rabbinic dynasty, respectively, on various occasions inside this series also, especially Rav Yaakov Mutzafi. I think it was his Hilula quite recently, if I'm not mistaken. While he was young, he would actually make Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael, and he would go on to learn in Talmud Torah over there, be educated in a Torah school, and acquire Torah from great rabbis at that point in time, especially Harav Ephraim HaKohen Z'tl, really, really great rabbi of that time. He was a Rosh Yeshiva of the great Kabbalist Yeshiva, Oz V'Hadar, a place we've spoken about on various occasions before. And there would be other great rabbis over there educating him to the highest level, which we also have to point out. He would also go on to learn in a bastion of the Sephardic Yeshivot in Israel called Yeshivat Porat Yosef. And at that point in time, I believe while he was studying there, the Rosh Yeshiva was Rab Ezra Atiyah, really, really great rabbi over there. And also at the same time, there was a genius, Rabbi Yehuda Tzadka. Well, I believe he himself passed away around the year 1990, 1991, if I'm not mistaken. And he was really growing up among the gigantic rabbis of, let's just say, that point in time. Now, being in practice himself was very, very prominent. He would get married to Rabbanit Marat Penina, and very interesting enough. And they would go on to live in the city of Bnei Brak, the ultra-Orthodox city of Bnei Brak. And over there, they would request for him to become the ram in a prominent position inside the yeshiva, Yeshivat Ohel Moshe. And over there, there'll be many, many different great students over there, which he would go on to inspire, give various different drashot, grandiose sermons, and in various different Beit Knesset and synagogues. At that point, all those different vicinities. He'd go on to become a head of Jewish court. And Jewish court was called the Yore, the Dan Dinei Torah over there. He would, there would be a huge amount of blessings coming from him, including his sons, especially his son, as it says, Banav HaMefarim et Kotel HaMizrach Shel HaYeshivot HaKadoshot Beno Harab Meir Kohen Maskir. just mentioning about the Bet Din, how his son, especially Rav Meir Cohen, what a great rabbi he was. It was part of teaching in the Talmud Torah. I think the Talmud Torah was called Shtilei Zeitim, and his son Rav Shlomo Cohen, for example, was many of them were just trying to illustrate his sons really continued his greatness with regards to educating in Torah and spreading Torah. So one of the sons would be educating in the Shtilei Zeitim, and his other son Rav Shlomo Cohen would teach in the Talmud Torah, I believe, called, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was called Melamed B'Talmud Torah Hakerem Beit V'Gan in Jerusalem. So I think it was a place in Beit V'Gan, actually in Jerusalem, a place we visited on this channel before, and it was a Vakeach in Talmud Torah Barama, I believe. And his other son, Rabbi Eliyahu Cohen, was another one of his sons, if I'm not mistaken. He was a manager in yeshiva, or great yeshiva, where many people will learn, and Kolel Bet he led also, and Yeshivat Darkei Mordechai, that was another one. Yeshiva Gedula, Yisodot Yeshiva, Mishkanot Haroim B'Bnei Brak, Chatanav Hashuvim. So really, many of the great rabbis would continue his educational and the kiruv spree, let's just say, in itself, in many different great institutions, educating Talmud Torah, respectively. Now, I believe he passed away, it was maybe 10th or 11th of February this year in 2025. I think his funeral was, if I'm not mistaken, actually started the procession from the Talmud Torah of Shtilei Zeitim in Bnei Brak and to the Beit Chaim Vishnitz, if I'm not mistaken, it's called Yitzman. I'm not too sure. So I think he was buried in Bnei Brak, if I'm not mistaken, but he was a great rabbi of his time. Rabbi Eliyahu Cohen, he passed away about 4 months ago here from the time of recording. So please learn more about him, learn more about these yeshivot and schools that we've spoken about over here on today's special edition, and learn more about Israel. Our friends, it's a turbulent time at the moment. There's over Shabbat there was a big rocket attack here in Israel, so it is a bit worrying. So just my message to you is, to all of you, is to please pray for Am Yisrael, for all our safety at the moment during these turbulent times. Our friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. If you descend from any of the great chachamim we're speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information. If you like these videos, please share these videos to other people also. Another thing, if you descend from any of the great chachamim we are speaking about here in this series, please send me an email. I would love to hear more about the great chachamim. We've covered nearly about 1,000 biography videos of great chachamim of yesteryear. So on that note, I wish you all blessings here from Israel. Safety for the whole of the world and for all of Am Yisrael. I'm wishing you all a Shavuot Tov Barach. Take care and please subscribe to the channel and have a good night.